Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to ask what are the biggest challenges right now to union for the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Today we're also going to get messages from your twin flame to you, so that'll be fun. And then I'm also going to ask a question, or if you have, these are my Ask Angel cards. So if you have a question, we're going to ask the Ask Angel cards today. Okay, so we're going to use this deck for the divine masculine, and this deck for the divine feminine. If you feel like you want to switch roles, if you identify more with the opposite, go ahead and take that advice. Okay, we are the divine masculine and the divine feminine, so you can take advice for both sides, or again, feel free to switch roles. Now, also, I'm offering 10-minute free readings, and so for anyone who is a new subscriber, go ahead and email me at twinflamealchemisttarot@gmail.com and let me know what one question that you have. I ask that you make it an open-ended question, and I will send that to you, okay, for all my new subscribers. Thank you to all of my new subscribers, by the way. And then also, this is a collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. And also, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you click on this video, it is the right time for you. Okay, so let's ask the divine masculine. We were asking, what are the biggest challenges right now to physical union? Let's pull 3 cards. What are the biggest challenges to physical union? What are the biggest challenges to physical union when it comes to the twin flames? Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so the biggest challenges we have right now, okay. So the mask, they're asking you to, let this mask down, okay? It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to, show your true feelings, okay? So that is a challenge for the divine masculine, showing their true feelings. They're not ready to be vulnerable. They're not ready to, put themselves out there. And then also we have addiction. This is all about being codependent, so, this could be addiction, in that sense for some of the DMs, but I think mostly this is about feeling codependent, meaning they're looking outside of themselves for happiness. So they're looking to their DF for their happiness, and that's not going to work in a twin flame environment, okay? Because we're supposed to be the divine, and the divine, is in love with not only each other, but ourselves. And we are we are already whole, so we don't need to feel codependent on someone else. And then we have paradise reversed, right? So that's about the same thing. So, paradise is all about happiness, feeling oneness, enjoying each other, having joy, expansion. Okay, so that's reversed. So the biggest challenge for the divine masculine is that they don't feel into that we are all one, we are like no one is separate, feeling that expansion, feeling that joy, feeling that happiness, okay? That is also a big challenge for the divine masculine. Let's ask the divine feminine. What are the biggest challenges for the divine feminine? 3 cards, please. What is the biggest challenges for the divine feminine at this time? For the collective, 3 cards. They're telling me to shuffle one more time. What is the challenges? 3 cards for the divine feminine. 3 cards. Yep. Alrighty. So we have twin flames reversed. Okay. So the twin flame, it's all about balancing out the yin and the yang. It's about zen. It's about balance, coupling, complementing each other. Okay. So that tells me that there's an imbalance here. Okay. So that's huge. So the biggest challenge for the divine feminine is balancing out your yin and yang. Okay. So I like to show this chart. Okay, and trust me, I get it. It's so hard being the divine feminine because we're always diving into the shadows, right? The divine masculine stays kind of fixed on their vibration, whereas the divine feminine dives deep into the shadows. And so it's hard to stay balanced when we do that, right, with our emotions. And so, again, this is not male or female. It's just if you identify as the divine feminine. Okay, and so to be balanced, we must have compassion. I know that's so tough to have compassion for your twin flame. Okay, knowing that hurt people, knowing that they are going through a hard time. Okay, having compassion even just for people in general during these times. With what's going on. With everyone right now globally. So, also balancing out yourself is all about following your intuition and not going into your head, right? It's doing those practices of yin and yang. So, for instance, I'll balance out my yin and yang by, so my yang is like boot camp. Like, I just like to do boot camp. So, that's what I'll do. And it's like, pretty, like a lot of movement and burpees and push-ups and that type of thing, right? And then but then I do my yin practice, so that I'll do like a beginner's tai chi. I just like it. The beginner's tai chi, I'll do meditation, I'll do yoga, like yin yoga. Okay, so again, it's balancing out your yin and yang. It's a balance, okay? And then also, it's just a matter of feeling at peace with yourself, being patient, feeling receptive, like being ready to receive, just receive, to say, I'm ready to receive my love and blessings, having that intention of receiving. Being nurturing to yourself is huge. Nurture yourself all day long. All right. And then, that's going to balance out yourself. Okay. And so that, because it's reversed, that tells me that, and then maybe for some of you, you're just questioning your twin flame journey. You're just questioning, like if this is something you should do, or if this is even your twin flame. That also would be blocking if you're in confusion and you're not trusting your intuition. But I think for many of you, this is a twin flame. You're just not balancing out your yin and yang, so that would be a challenge. We also have karmic relationship, and that is reversed, okay? And so the karmic relationship, so for some of you, you might be worried that there's a karmic relationship with your twin. Now, chances are, if you are in the shadows, okay, then their chances are there probably is a third party situation on not for every single twin flame, but for most. And I think it's because your guides don't want you in union with your shadow twin flame. If you want more information on that, this is what I do readings on. But that's why. You want to be with the highest version of your twin flame. The highest version of your twin flame does not have a third party situation. Or, I mean, I shouldn't say that. If you do, that gets mirrored back. If you're in a third party situation, chances are they are too, because it's a mirror. But if you're not, then they're not, okay? Because it's a mirror. But if your vibrations are in the shadows, and it's okay to love all of you and love all of them, okay? So you're loving all of your shadows, you're loving all of their shadows, okay? That's what I'm trying to come across, is that please have compassion for your shadows and their shadows, okay? But if you are in the shadows, chances are there is a karmic, and that is there for a reason. That is there so that you do not get into physical union with your shadows, because they just don't last. It's not really, and again, they're in love with you, and they're probably addicted to you, and they probably feel codependent with you, okay? Because if they're at their best versions, they're not feeling this way, okay? If they're in their best version, then they probably want to show you their feelings. So chances are you're probably in the shadows, and that's okay. And you know what that means, right? That just means vibration. So that just means, you're not at peace, right? So being at peace just means that you don't question it. That this is the right path, that your twin flame loves you. You love your twin flame. There's no questioning it, okay? But when you're in the shadows, you're questioning it. And so you're afraid of this karmic relationship going to be there. And again, they're there for a reason. They don't want you in relationship in your shadows. They would instead want because what this is what they're telling me, because now you're distracted. Now you're focused on the shadows. The shadow aspect of yourself, the shadow aspect of your twin flame, and now you're being distracted instead of working on the higher self. Now at the same time, you are catapulting out of the shadows, because a lot of times that's where we do our biggest learning, when things don't go well. That's when we learn. And so yes, so it's there for a reason, and it's good, but you don't want to stay there. You just don't want to stay in the shadows. So yes, so another thing that is challenging the connection are these triggers. I get it. I totally get it, right? And so you feel like there's these fleeting triggers, you're feeling triggered, you're feeling resentment. It could have been because of a past karmic, it could be because of a karmic now. Okay. And so trying to let go of that and just pure love, that's the journey, right? That's being the divine. And so many of us have been in that situation. I've been in that situation too many times to count. So I get it. And it's triggering and it's fleeting. And sometimes the past creeps up, and you just when you think you've healed it, it comes back. And so that is going to block the connection. So that was there so that you could learn something, that was there so that you wouldn't feel, I'm telling you right now, all this is, for the most part, okay, because sometimes it is a contract, but for the most part, if you have that trapped emotion of abandonment, which I did and maybe still do, I don't know, maybe 5% still do, okay. I was beaten as a child, and so I had that abandonment in my energy body. And if you have anything that might have happened that made you feel abandoned in any sort of way, doesn't have to be extreme, that will be reflected back to you from your twin flame. Okay? And so if you have abandonment, and even if it's unconscious, something like this has to happen to reflect this pain body so that you learn to get rid of that abandonment feeling and you feel whole on your own and you don't feel like you need someone else outside of you. And then also the third party situation is also about the claiming both your sides. Like you don't want to just claim your divine feminine side. You have to claim your own divine masculine side. You have to claim it. You have to be it. You have to balance it. You have to be your own divine masculine because you are one. There is no such thing as separation. If you believe in separation and you believe that, that they're not with you or they're not on the same page as you and you're not, like if you believe in that whole concept of separation, you're literally putting a block in between you and your twin flame. And that could be a person. There's many different types of blocks. That's just, karmic can also mean a situation. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be it could be a job. Okay. It could be, like a mom where like they have to take care of their mom, or I don't know. It could be anything where like they have their attention on something else right now. And maybe it's just blocking the connection right now. Okay. And so that could be triggering. I do readings on that if you want more information on that. All right. And the next one is kisses. That is reversed. So what that tells me is another block, another challenge is that you're not showing your unconditional love towards your twin flame. I know unconditional, that's a tough one, right? How to be unconditionally loving yourself. So forgiving yourself first, forgiving anything that's happened in your past, okay? Healing your inner child and forgiving your twin flame, just really being in that love bubble, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love with yourself, falling in love with your twin flame. So that was reversed. So that is another reason, that is another challenge. I know it's hard, but the twin flame journey is about becoming the divine, okay? And once you become the divine-like, I should say, I mean, we are already the divine. I mean, I'm not saying we're not. We are already the divine. We're already that. But to encompass that and to be that and to practice that is a whole other story. Because we're here to experience different things, and we're here to experience every dimension and every shadow, and that's all good because we all came to do that. And we do dive into the shadows, and that's good too. It is good to do that. And it's to love those parts of ourselves and those parts of them. So, unconditionally loving, that is part of a practice of becoming the divine, and that is how we become the divine feminine. That is how we become the divine masculine, and that is how we get into union, being the divine feminine and being the divine masculine. Okay, so now, if you have a question, let's ask it now. We're going to do, just take a number from 1 to 3 and ask your question. Pick a question from 1 to 3 and ask your question. It could be any question. So no could be a good answer if you ask a particular type of question. You know? So it just depends on your question. Everybody has their own question. Just pick 1, 2, or 3 for the answer. So we're going to start with number 1. So this is your answer for number 1. Number 1, what is the answer for number 1, please? We have you're ready. You're ready. For some of you are questioning if you're ready or is my divine masculine ready? The answer is you're ready. That's beautiful. All right. So for those of you who picked number 2, here's your answer. For those of you who questioned for your question number 2. No need to worry. That's your answer for question number 2. No need to worry. Don't worry about it. There's just no need. It's an illusion. That's what they're telling me. Okay. All right. And then number 3. What is your answer for number 3? What is your answer for number 3? Number 3. What is your answer? Yes. Your answer is yes. Yes, 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 with an exclamation point. That's like the biggest yes you can get. Number 3 is the biggest yes you can get. Okay. Yeah, you're all going in the right direction. Okay, so now let's get a message from your twin flame. Let's get a message from your twin flame. Let's do 2 cards. 2 cards. What does your twin flame want you to know? Yeah. So this goes along with the theme. This goes along with the theme, not showing their true feelings, and they're feeling pretty codependent, and yeah, and they're just not feeling into their own expansion. So it says the first one is karma is a bitch, and I finally got mine. Something happened there with the divine masculine or divine feminine, depending on who your twin flame is. And I don't think I can take your rejection right now. That's why the mask is here. They don't think they can take your rejection. And I promise you, even if you say yes to meeting with them, they still have a fear of you rejecting them. And the reason why is because as long as you have any little doubt in your own mind, or you have any kind of pain body that's not healed, that's all they get from you. It's all about the energy. It's not like a normal, everyday, third dimensional relationship, because, it's you sharing a soul with someone. So they see you at a soul level. So all they could do is read your pain body and read your soul, read what's not healed, okay? And then also your thoughts. You share each other's thoughts. So when one person doubts, it causes the other person to doubt, and back and forth, And so, yeah, so those are your messages. He or she doesn't think they can take your reaction right now. So let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to do before we end this? Yes. One more thing, because I'm like, I don't know, something's not complete. I just need to give you guys advice. Since we did challenges, let's do the DM first. Let's do advice, please. For the DM. Let's do advice for the DM. Darkest before dawn for the DM. It says breakdown before breakthrough. Major shift is in process, dissolving barriers, ascending. Yep. So a lot of the DMs are having a major breakthrough right now. So that's interesting because it's not interesting because we just got the card, Karma is a bitch, and I just got mine. Something happened with the DM. And this could be you, if if you relate, okay? But darkest before dawn. So there's a clearing going on here. There's a major shift. Something had to dissolve. Mostly that's the shadows. The parts of your shadows have to dissolve. But things sometimes have to happen to make that dissolve. Sometimes we don't clear the pain body on our own. Sometimes things have to happen in our world to make us clear them, clear our energy, clear our thoughts, have a new perspective. Okay, let's do the divine feminine side. What is the advice for the collective for the divine feminine? What advice do you have for us, please? Yeah, and that's what we just said, right? Perspective, right? Gaining clarity, seeing the other side, right? Seeing the other side of your twin flame, understanding where they're coming from. It's a mirror. And all they're allowed to do is see where you're not healed. All they can do is feel where you're not healed. If you're not healed in something, if you're feeling abandoned, that gets reflected back in them. If you feel abandoned by them, they feel abandoned by you. It's an exact mirror. Okay, so it's just having that perspective, it's being considerate of their perspective, and then of course taking responsibility for your own life, and then just seeing everything from a higher point of view. When you're the divine and you go into the fifth dimension, you just see everything in a higher perspective, and you see why this was a good thing, like why everything you're going through is great, and you notice you're becoming the highest version of yourself, and you notice that without your shadows and without their shadows that you wouldn't be the person you are today. And if you notice, there are people here that haven't shifted, right? There are people who are still the same old, whatever it is, like they're in their drama or whatever it is, right? It's because they didn't have this, well, maybe they do now, but before they didn't have this shift come in, or this darkest before dawn, or whatever you want to call it, come in to help shift and progress and break down the barriers for your new breakthroughs. Okay. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. And again, thank you for all of my new subscribers. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.